We even celebrate his birthday today, too. Coming up next month on June 11th is actually Kamehameha Day, and that's a state holiday in Hawaii. But this is where Kamehameha's father used to cliff dive over 200 years ago. We're going to go over here and take a look at a place called Honolulu Bay. Anybody staying over here at this side? Kapalua or Kaanapali? You guys in Wailea? We're going to go over to another island. We're going to go take a look at the island of Molokai here in a few minutes. We'll have a nice tailwind all the way over there, almost a 28 knot tailwind right now. So we'll be doing about 160 miles per hour on the way to Molokai, and we'll be there very quickly. But let's go take a look at Honolulu Bay first. This is called Nakalele Point right here. All right, this is Honolulu Bay on our left over here. This is also called Napili Bay up ahead of us. These two white beaches right here is where the Ritz-Carlton is right here. This is a good place to go snorkeling in the morning right here at Honolulu Bay. See those two boats down there. Since there you can see Kaanapali Beach on the point down there. That was the first place they built resorts on Maui back in the 1960s. It's still probably the most popular place to stay on the island. When they started building the Ritz-Carlton down here, they were originally going to build it right in between these two beaches down here. When they broke ground, they discovered very quickly that they would be building on top of an ancient Hawaiian cemetery. So they stopped building and had to move the whole resort back off the beach. So now it's kind of a little walk to the beach from the resort. Going to be crossing the channel now. I'm going to come back on here in a second. I'll tell you about the island of Molokai where we're going. Just give me a couple minutes to make some radio calls. Okay, back with you now. We're already halfway to Molokai. Molokai is probably the most mysterious Hawaiian island, I would say. People tend to know very little about it, and that's because they don't build resorts on this island, and they don't do any advertising. The population on Molokai is really not interested in catering to tourism the way the other islands are. Instead, Molokai is really the old school island. This is where the hula dance originated, on the west side of this island. It's a pretty big island too. It's almost half of the size of Maui, but there are only 8,000 people living here. And about half of Molokai's population is native Hawaiian. They really don't build much over here at all. There are no traffic signals on Molokai, no Costco, no Walmart. There's not even a Starbucks. The folks over here are planting and growing their own coffee, and it's very good coffee too. They do a lot of fishing and farming here. A little bit of cattle ranching and a little bit of hunting too. They hunt the axis deer and wild boar on Molokai. The wild boar come in handy at the luau's. They're kind of the guest of honor at the luau. But they're not native to Hawaii, and neither are the axis deer. They were all brought here by people and are now invasive species. So they do hunt these animals with no limit, but it doesn't keep their populations down. They don't have any other predators, and there's lots of places for them to hide on these remote islands. Where we're going to be going today, there are no roads of any kind. We're going to be looking at some of the most remote places in Hawaii on the north shore of Molokai. And these are really places you can only see in a helicopter. And I think you'll agree when we leave this island, it's also probably one of the best kept secrets in Hawaii too. The first thing we're going to see here is Elephant Rock on our left. That's what the helicopter pilots call it, Elephant Rock. I'll tell you why here in a second. Well, Kevin, if you look down on this rock from this angle right about here, you'll start to see an elephant right about there laying down in the water. Do you see that? Now, they could also call this Hammerhead Rock. This is where the hammerhead sharks breed around this little island here. And that boat down there, they're scuba diving with hammerhead sharks right now. Does that sound like fun to anybody?